Let's freaking go! Is there any more debate on who the best quarterback is in the NFC? We start things off with Jayden Daniels, 2nd and 2. He looks to the left and works back to the right. Noah Brown is actually someone I should have drafted more of during the fantasy season because Jayden loves him some number 85, and he can flat out play. Remember, last year he had the huge catch at the end of the Giants' victory early in the season, so he gets a really nice catch on Cordell Flott, and he actually is So one thing I really like about this play is on 2nd and short, you should be throwing. And the Giants are thinking that this is going to be a run. You bring the tight end in, you're blocking tight end, you're pulling BC around at left guard, and you're also giving a talented rookie in Abdul Carter a lot of different looks, right? This is just really, really, really good offense across the board. Look at Zach Ertz drawing all this coverage. You want that all day, every day, because that means a receiver is getting a one-on-one matchup somewhere else. It's just really sexy stuff. Alrighty, and we get to Jayden Daniels' first touchdown pass of the season. Who else would it be than Zach Ertz? So the best preseason play of the year for Jackson Dart was actually something very similar to this, where you put trips into the field and you actually work the boundary matchups. And once this linebacker rotated out here, Jayden Daniels knew exactly where he was going with the football. And this is just part of the gravity that Jayden Daniels brings your team. So you can see it is a 2-on-2. This linebacker really has to stay right here to pick up any Jayden scrambles. So it just increases the distance over here for Zach Ertz to work with. And 53 is just cooked. You can see he's running out here to stop the out. And as many of you know, the Falcons game as a good example from last year, Zach Ertz on this little angle route is near impossible. And look at when Jayden is actually deciding to throw this football. Y'all, that is a ridiculous piece of quarterback play and tight end play from one of the best red zone threats of this era. Celebrate! Also, look at Jalen Lane getting some early playing time. You'll love to see it. So let's get into this play right here. Obviously, you have quads to the field, and they're trying to run a quick screen. And look, this is a big part of who the Commanders are, the screen game. And you'll see right here, they're trying to get Deebo Samuel the football. And Jayden is just a quarterback who's never going to put the football in harm's way. So there are a few answers to this. You know, the first thing here is Jayden is always just going to get sacked by Burns on the backside. You don't want to run too many screens with Jayden as your quarterback because, you know, he just has to run the play. It kind of takes away who he is as a quarterback and as a playmaker. But let's take a look at what actually happens here. All right, so the first thing you have to do if teams are really going to play aggressive on your screens is just have 19 go, and then you hit, you know, a little hole shot right here in between the safety, and you could do that. The second thing, obviously, is you can work the backside slant right here to Terry McLaurin, or just not run this play at all. But the screen game is going to be a big part of what the Commanders will be. It's just this year, teams are going to be more ready for it. So give the Giants a lot of credit. Good play right there from Brian Burns. And there you go. Let's go to this 1st and Silver Spring. And you could see 72 right here oversets really bad. You could see he's leaning. As an offensive lineman, you never want to lean over your feet too much. And, well, it's exactly what happens here. And guess what? It's a sack. All right, so could Jayden have gotten out of this? The answer to that is probably yes. You know, we could help out this right tackle right here and step up into this pocket. I understand with Dexter Lawrence up the middle, you're always worried about that. But, yes, we could step up here and help him out. Or, obviously, Jayden is the best at getting out of these situations. Jayden would also tell you that he should probably get out of this with his talent level. But once again, Brian Burns, a fine player. I do like 2 hands on the football right here from JD5. And look, the Giants have arguably the best pass rush in the NFL. So, very interesting play there from New York. Let's move ahead here and talk about Bill Crosky-Merrit. Okay, it is interesting that the Chris Rodriguez experiment might be over because Bill has a good run here. Obviously, Austin Eckler was really good in this game, had a few nice catches in the 2 minute. And, well, this is what Jayden does. You really have to hold heavy backside. If you're Abdul Carter, you can't just race down and make this play. And, God, I mean, my goodness gracious. Look at this right side of the offensive line just mauling people. Excellent stuff to crash this guy in. And this is an easy bounce read for Bill. And he is walking essentially into the end zone. So, really good running, but even better play up front by the Hog Mollies, baby. Let's go. And boy, oh boy, I'm so glad I did not listen to the haters out there about Deebo Samuel. Him with Jayden Daniels is such a perfect fit, right? I understand Deebo does not have the same juice as he once did, but with him and Jayden and how Cliff likes to call plays, it's just going to be a thing of beauty all year long. I really do believe it. I don't think this is just a one-game thing. So, the more impressive thing about this isn't what I was envisioning, right? This is just traditional wide receiver play. And Jayden, of course, just makes this happen. First off, the protection is indeed really good, but they obviously have a QB spy. They're really worried about Jayden's rushing ability. So Jayden sees that, and it's like, okay, let me just sit in this pocket and wait for something to be wide the frick open. You can always work Austin Eckler underneath, but no, we want to get this football down the field, and look at where it's placed, y'all. Boom. Okay? You just can't run a deep over that much better than that. And even though Debo doesn't have that same separation, Jayden's accuracy is just so good. So this is just ridiculous offense. The Giants do not bring any pressure. And once again, you don't want to with Jayden. You try and get as exotic as you can on the back end. It's just Jayden just always knows where the rush is. I know we had a few sacks mixed into today's film study, but this is just ridiculous quarterback play. Again, okay, because of Jayden's speed, he's able to have a deeper drop and be a little bit more tiptoey. But honestly, everything in his delivery after 2022 season at LSU going into his Heisman season became more compact, became just better, and he gets his football up and down over the linebacker to a wide-open Terry McLaurin. I say wide open. It wasn't wide open. It was open on the dig. It's just really, really, really good stuff. Then we get to a 2nd and 15, and look, Abdul Carter, that is just a nasty, nasty, nasty job right there, right up the middle. You put him in a 0-tech, a 2.0 tech, and he has A-gap pressure right up the gut. Well, guess what? They have an answer for it. Jayden Daniels throws it to Austin Eckler into the flats. Now, a lot of people say Eckler is washed. Playing with Jayden, of course, can extend a lot of players' careers. But honestly, if you really watched Austin Eckler last year, I know he had a lot of injury issues. He had a lot of juice after the touch, whether it was a catch or a run. And you can see here, he's actually still on his feet after taking that hit. I mean, that is one of the more ridiculous runs you'll see. Cliff Kingsbury, you dirty animal. You've seen everything in this game. The design of this is really good. So we crack the play side in with the receiver, and we're pulling our hog mollies around. So we have a tight end, in theory, 2 offensive linemen pulling around. We have, obviously, Deebo Samuel wrapping back around. And look at all this space, okay? Man, the blocking on this was so unfreaking believably good. That's a good second-level play right there by 63 Biotish. And all Deebo needs to do is just go right through that alley. And he's able to do it. And once again, the haters said Deebo was washed. I didn't, okay? It's just ridiculous offense. It really, really, really is. So, what do we make of the season opening win? I understand it's the Giants, but this defense actually should be pretty good. And the Commanders were amazing, right? Obviously, it's not the most explosive game, but in truth, this is a division game. It's always going to be more difficult when you play a team as many times as these two have faced. And Jayden was fantastic. Deebo was fantastic. I do have one bone to pick with Dan Quinn. Just way too many penalties, right? That needs to get cleaned up. But it is without reasonable doubt that the 2 best teams in the NFC are in the NFC East. right? I do believe it's the Commanders and the Eagles, and I believe Jayden Daniels, even though the stat line here isn't unfreaking believable, he was really good in this game, okay? So let me know what you guys think down below, and we'll talk soon, okay? It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! Tonight, we are doing ribs.